Skol Nation, this one's huge. The air in Minnesota is thick with that post-loss haze, the kind that lingers after a gut-wrenching defeat. You know the feeling, hearts pounding, horns echoing faintly in the distance, but the scoreboard tells a different story. The Vikings just dropped a tough one to the Ravens, 2017, and the offense. It was a night of miscues that had fans pulling at their purple jerseys. 8 false starts, tying for the second most by a home team since 2000. Drive killers, momentum breakers, but in the midst of the frustration, something shifted in the locker room. A voice cut through the noise, owning it all with a maturity that's got the whole fan base buzzing. If you're part of this crew, hit that subscribe button, drop a like, and join the conversation. This community runs on real fans like you. Now, the man at the heart of it, J.J. McCarthy. Yeah, the rookie quarterback, just 4 starts into his career, stepping up after that brutal loss and taking the blame like a veteran leader. As a quarterback, you're the orchestrator of the orchestra, he said, voice steady, eyes locked on the reporters. I take full responsibility for anything that happens on that field. Full stop. No excuses, no deflections. He owned those pre-snap penalties, the false starts that shot the Vikings in the foot time and again. It was there, we just kept shooting ourselves in the foot. I take full responsibility for the pre-snap procedural penalties, and it didn't stop there. The focus, the competitive stamina, it's all gotta be there, but I take full responsibility every single time something goes wrong. McCarthy wasn't just talking, he was embodying the purple pride that Skol Nation craves. In a game where the offense sputtered, historic miscues under the US Bank Stadium lights, here was the young gun shouldering it all. No finger pointing at the line, the receivers, or the coaches, just pure accountability. It's the kind of moment that makes you believe in the future, even as the sting of defeat hangs heavy. But let's rewind a bit, because this isn't just about one game. McCarthy's words didn't land in a vacuum. They echoed through the halls of Vikings history, drawing inevitable comparisons to the guy who wore the purple before him, Kirk Cousins. You remember Cousins, right? The steady vet who led Minnesota from 2018 to 2023 before the franchise hitched its wagon to this first-round pick in 2024. Cousins is now slinging it for the Falcons, but his shadow still looms large over the Twin Cities. And after McCarthy's post-game presser, writers like Brad Berriman from the Viking Age couldn't help but leverage it against the former QB. Berriman's take? Stark. Hearing McCarthy pull no punches and take the blame for what went wrong on Sunday is a stark contrast to what Vikings fans grew accustomed to hearing from their quarterback from 2018-2023, he wrote. Then again, albeit only now 4 starts into his career, McCarthy is clearly wired way differently than Kirk Cousins is. Ouch. It's the kind of critique that stirs the pot, reigniting old frustrations among fans who watch Cousins' era unfold with its highs, playoff pushes, big contracts, and its lows, those moments where the offense flatlined and the explanations felt measured. Picture this, it's 2020 early in the season. Cousins leads the NFL in interceptions through the first 6 games. 3 picks and a loss to the Falcons drop the Vikes to 1-5. The pressure's on, the fan base is restless. Cousins steps to the mic, analytic as ever. I need to correct it. I need to finish the season with a different story regarding interceptions, he says. Sounds accountable, doesn't it? He even admits, if the pace that I'm on in terms of the interceptions, if that were to continue, I won't finish the season. Tough self-assessment. But then comes the breakdown, systemic issues, play breakdowns, the entire offensive performance needing work. What starts as explanation can come off as deflection to a fan base hungry for raw ownership. That's the rub with Cousins. Known for his cerebral approach, he'd dissect the game like a coach, pointing out where the protection failed or the route timing was off. Innocent enough on the surface, just a QB being thorough. But in the heat of Minnesota winters, with Skol chants fading after another missed opportunity, it often landed like blame shifting. Fans wanted fire, not footnotes. And now enter McCarthy, brief, bold, unfiltered. I take full responsibility. It's a breath of fresh air, a spark in the horn's echo. The loss to Baltimore was painful. 27-19, sure, but those 8 false starts, they weren't just penalties, they were symbols of a unit still finding its rhythm. McCarthy, under center, felt everyone. His maturity at 21, yeah, he's that young, has pundits and fans alike marveling. It's not just talk, it's leadership in embryo. Berriman's article praised it outright, but the Cousins comparison, it's fuel for the fire. Did Cousins ever pass the buck? On the surface, no. But the perception lingers, etched in the collective memory of Vikings faithful who endured the ups and downs. Let's dive deeper into McCarthy's moment. Post-game, the locker room's a mix of dejection and determination. Reporters swarm, mics thrust forward. McCarthy doesn't flinch. He's the orchestrator, he says, and that means owning the symphony even when it's off-key. Those false starts halted drives before they could roar, momentum evaporated, but McCarthy's response, it rebuilt some. Fans watching from bars in Minneapolis or tailgates in the lot nodded along. This kid gets it. He's not hiding behind youth, he's embracing the weight of the purple. Contrast that with Cousins' tenure. Take that 2020 Falcons game, ironic now that he's with Atlanta. 3 picks, a 1-5 hole. His words were candid but layered. We need to be better, he said, inclusive. But the analytics kicked in, interceptions as a team issue, protection lapses, receiver drops implied. It's how his mind works, data-driven, not drama-fueled. Vikings fans, though, wanted drama. They wanted the fire that McCarthy brings in brevity. And as the rookie stands there owning the Knights' failures, it's clear, the wiring's different. One's a professor, the other's a warrior. This comparison isn't just chatter, it's a turning point for Skol Nation. Cousins moved on, signing with the Falcons to chase rings elsewhere. McCarthy, he's here building that maturity after a loss like Sunday's. It's the glue that could hold this young offense together. 8 false starts won't define them if the leader steps up like this. The Ravens' game exposed cracks, but McCarthy's words patch some. Fans are talking on forums and group chats under the stadium lights. Is this the spark we've been waiting for? The horns are echoing a little louder tonight, but hold up, let's not gloss over the game itself. Baltimore came in hot, Lamar Jackson slicing through the secondary. The Vikings fought, but those penalties, brutal. Tied for second most home false starts since 2000. Historic in the worst way. McCarthy's passes were there, the potential flickered, but the little things, focus, stamina, faltered, and he owned it. No, we'll get him next time fluff. Straight fire, it's just the little things that we gotta keep focusing on. That's coach speak from a rookie QB. Impressive. As the presser wrapped, you could sense the shift. Reporters scribbled, nodding. Berriman and others saw the contrast immediately. Cousins' era had its moments of accountability, sure, like admitting he might not finish the season if picks continued. But the systemic breakdowns, they often diluted the me focus. McCarthy, all eye, it's refreshing, raw. For a fanbase scarred by close calls and what-ifs, this feels like progress. Skol Nation, the future's calling. Word count, 1,400 approx. Diving into the broader picture, McCarthy's approach isn't just post-game theater. It's a mindset that could redefine the Vikings culture. Think about it, 4 starts in and he's already talking like a franchise pillar. The loss to the Ravens stung, no doubt. Baltimore's defense clamped down, Jackson dazzled, and those penalties piled up like snow in January. But McCarthy's ownership, it turned a defeat into a teachable moment. Fans are eating it up. Social media's ablaze with clips of his presser, hashtags like Skol McCarthy trending. The horns are echoing from Duluth to the Dakotas. Now let's address the Cousins elephant in the room head-on. Was the critique fair? Berriman's words hit hard. McCarthy's no punches pulled style versus what fans grew accustomed to from Cousins. From 2018-2023, Kirk was the steady hand, big arm, bigger contract. He threw for over 4,000 yards multiple seasons, led comebacks that had U.S. Bank shaking. But the lows, those interceptions, the primetime fades, and the pressers, often a masterclass in nuance. Take another example, a 2021 meltdown against the Lions where the offense sputtered amid protection woes. Cousins broke it down, blitzes uncovered, routes uncrossed. Accountable, yes, but to some it sounded like not all on me. Perception's a beast in the NFL, especially in a passionate town like Minnesota. Cousins' analytic bent, born from his Michigan State days, honed in D.C., served him well on the field. Off it, it could come off as cool detachment. Fans wanted passion, the kind that bleeds purple. McCarthy delivers that in spades. His brevity cuts through. I take full responsibility every single time. No diagrams, no dissections, just leadership. It's why Berriman's piece resonated. It's not bashing Cousins outright, it's highlighting evolution. The Vikes moved on for a reason, to inject that fire. Fast forward to now. Cousins in Atlanta, thriving in a new system, but his Vikings legacy, mixed bag. He took the team to the playoffs twice, but never beyond the divisional round. The 2022 NFC Championship heartbreaker against the Giants still haunts. Post-game, Cousins was measured. Scheme adjustments needed. Execution lapses across the board. Again, true, but fans crave more. My bad. McCarthy's era feels different, raw, hungry. That Ravens game, a 2017 but the fight was there. Jordan Addison hauled in catches, the run game churned. Penalties aside, potential simmered. What does this mean for Skol Nation? Hope. Real, tangible hope. McCarthy's maturity at this stage, owning false starts like a vet, signals he's built for the long haul. The Vikings drafted him 5th overall for this, poise under pressure. Sunday's miscues were drive killers, sure, but his response? Momentum builder. Coaches like Kevin O'Connell have to love it. It fosters trust in the huddle, quiets the doubters, and for fans, it's validation. After years of Cousins' steadiness that sometimes felt stale, here's a spark. Let's not forget the context of the move. The Vikes cut ties with Cousins post-2023, banking on McCarthy amid Sam Darnold's bridge year. Now with Darnold sidelined, or whatever the depth chart says, JJ's turn has come. 4 starts and already this poise. The Ravens' loss exposed youth, those 8 penalties a glaring red flag. But McCarthy's words, green light, the competitive stamina, it's all gotta be there. He's preaching what he practices, eyes on improvement. Critics might say it's early to crown him, fair, but moments like this stick. Berriman nailed it, wired differently. Cousins was the professor, diagramming failures. McCarthy's the conductor, owning the orchestra's discord. Both valid, but for a franchise chasing that elusive Super Bowl, the latter might fit the purple fire better. Fans recall Cousins' 2020 admission, "I need to be better or I won't finish," as a high watermark of accountability. Yet the follow-ups often veered systemic. McCarthy stays laser-focused on self. Looking ahead, this could galvanize the squad. The bye week's coming, time to drill those little things. False starts. Film sessions await. McCarthy leading the charge, priceless. Skol Nation's buzzing, podcasts dissecting, bars replaying clips. The contrast to Cousins isn't just critique, it's closure, time to turn the page. With McCarthy at the helm, the horns echo louder, the future brighter. In the end, Sunday's loss was a bump, not a breaker. McCarthy's maturity shines through, drawing lines in the sand. Cousins, respect for the miles, but this is McCarthy's symphony now. Vikings fans embrace it. The purple runs deep, the fight's just starting. Skol, word count 1400 approx.